Ami, Bojo, Kwekwe, Tansi, Scano, greetings. It's Catherine and Brian at Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario in the Georgian Bay District, bringing you our Indigenous perspectives on all things cartomancy. This week we have no stellar or lunar activity that merits discussion, no new moons or full moons or eclipses or anything like that. We're still in the moon cycle of Storyteller, and so I've chosen decks inspired by connection with grandmothers. So there's a lot of botanical decks and fairies, and with the ground waking up, receiving the plants starting to push through, some have well pushed through. I was reminded by Spirit that when the rains come as heavily as they do, it's the moon's way of having the rains wash things in the earth and push things to the surface that we need to observe. And so bones rise, crystals rise, plants rise, all sorts of things. There are opportunities for teaching, and even though it is raining a lot, we need to be mindful that we still need to be out in nature, connecting with the changes that have birthed themselves since last year. Anyway, it's fairies, it's dragons, it's roses, it's, of course, the Marigold Tarot for the ancestors, some moon cards. It's interesting, both my grandmothers were named after flowers, Viola and Rose, and so I bring you what appears to me to be a very beautiful reading. The decks we're using include the Dreaming Way Tarot, the Unshakable Inner Peace, the Oracle of Roses, the Oracle Dragon Fae. I'll put these down over here. The Liminal Spirit Oracle, the Dreaming Way Lenormand, the Cosmic Pink. The spirits seem to be asking for that just as much as they do the Marigold Tarot. The Oracle of the Universe, the Rosebud Tarot, and the Marigold Tarot. All right, now we can go to the cards. So here we have the Rosebud Tarot and the Oracle of the Universe, and then all the rest of the decks are reflected in the clarifiers. We start the week with the Seeker, who this deck is actually the Hermit. And so we are looking to be introspective this week, to look at where our wisdom is growing and going, taking us. We have the opportunities here to be the peace that we wish to see in the world by taking time for introspection. It's clarified by the Priest, which I actually had Brian douse to make sure that I understood that this was the correct card, and it is. And this card represents wild roses. So all the cards in this particular deck, this is an oracle deck, are all different variants on roses. And I looked at the meaning of this card to make sure I understood where it was going, and it's meant to be the idea of the wise teacher in the same sense as the Hierophant used to be thought of as a priest, but they're also a teacher and one involved in raising the spiritual education of people to meet with other very practical education. So this wild rose is the clarifying card as the terminology of the priest. So you're not having to do all this journeying into wisdom alone. It's clarifying that there's all sorts of possible opportunities here to connect with somebody who is wise and you see as a teacher, and perhaps has a spiritual journey as the basis of their mortal walk. And that's always good. Sometimes it's just working with spirit directly and your guides and teachers. This is followed by the Two of Water, or the Two of Cups. So this represents a bridal couple. This is the coming together of the yin and yang, the male and the female. It doesn't necessarily represent a marriage pending, although it can. If this was a reading for an individual person, it might represent that for them. But this is a collective reading, so I find that Spirit tends to up the ante and talk about higher spiritual variables represented in the multitude of potential meanings of a card. And this can be the finding the balance within self, making sure that the male and the female aspects of self are being harmonized so that you are in balance. So the wisdom walk and having a teacher to help clarify and support brings us to the point of making sure that we are in balance on this journey. And here's Temperance card. So Temperance is a major arcana card, and the alchemist, that is the Temperance card, is the bringing of spirit and blending it seamlessly. No spillage. It's beautifully fluid. It's artistic. It's a very higher calling with blending the earth life with the spiritual life and making sure, again, about balance. It's very much a card of balance. The following card here is the Professor. So here is our Hierophant. And our Hierophant is, again, knowledge and teaching. So they're very similar concepts here. We are finding out information that puts us in balance, that puts us on a journey of balance. It's got a higher calling here. There's destiny and karma involved. The Professor is complemented here or clarified by the Hanged One. So the Hanged One is about observing your teachings and learnings from new perspectives, from stepping back, that there may be a sacrifice involved. It's not a punitive thing. It's something that really needs to go in order for us to take on all this knowledge in this journey of this week. This card is the Ten of Water, or the Ten of Cups. So it's the having everything we need emotionally. It's completeness, wholeness, maturity, balance. And it's interesting, the having everything is clarified by the Liminal Spirits Oracle as clay. Clay is a critically important thing at so many levels. At the very physical level, we can bathe in it and heal sores with it. We can add it to the gardens for nutrients, as long as we don't add too much. My grandmother used to walk along the riverside, and she was trying to teach me. It was very difficult in Guelph to get clean enough running water in the old Speed River system. But talk to me about how we used clay in making topical medicines. Clay is necessary for it holds all sorts of things to let the earth grow and to help move fluids through the earth from one wet spot to one dry spot. So this is about a multitude of gifts. This is the earth giving us gifts that are useful in so many ways, and yet they can be overlooked as gucky, mucky, ooh, stay away. Don't. Be as the clay. Be moldable into a vessel. The vessel is the Ten of Cups. This is the generosity of Earth, or the Queen of Pentacles, with her little dog, and I can't see everything, her crown, all of that good stuff. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles as the person who makes sure, or the attribute of being the person who makes sure that everything is cared for in this third dimension. It's the same as Pentacles or Earth. So our job, our life, our home, our family, our finances, income. But she's up there in our legacy. Again, we've recently had readings where our legacy has been discussed. And that's interesting. So all of this higher order thinking and wisdom and spiritual values, heavily connecting with our earth manifestation capacity. And she's clarified by the dog from the Dreaming Way, Lenormand. And that's having a buddy. The dog is always about companionship, loyalty, an uncompromised love. Love that cannot be shaken. And the companionship can be represented by someone in our lives. It can be represented by our spirit guides, teachers, angels. To not forget that we have other people on this journey. We move to the Wheel of Fortune. If you're on the outside of the wheel, you could easily, as it moves, get thrown off. But the closer we are to the center and the hub of the wheel, we are calm, centered, and still, and the world is going on around us. So once again, this is a number 10 card. This is a number 10 card. It's all about being centered and focused so that this new journey and what we're going after doesn't throw us into a frenzy. To be like the whirling dervish who can be in motion going in circles, but the state of inner peace and meditation is the being in the center of that turning wheel or that turning circle. It's clarified by, I'm sorry, I have to pull this away to read it. This card is number 35 on the Inner Peace Oracle. Turn your worry into wonder. Surrender to the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? This very much mirrors what the hanged man or hanged person says. So when you're standing in the middle of the wheel, don't be freaking out about what's going on around the edge of the wheel and what's going on out there. Just look at things from a place of curiosity. Change your perspective and see what you can learn and what you can use. We all need to do this. I'm saying you, but it's for everyone. Here's one of the most misunderstood cards, the Tower. It used to be called La Maison of God, the House of God. My French is bad, I won't go there. La Maison Dieu, I think it is. But it always looks scary to people. But what it is this lightning representing freedom. It's the releasing of someone from entrapment. And that's an old meaning. And I see that happening here in this, yes, it's an abrupt change, which is how it's most often spoken of. But the abrupt change is a releasing from something that has bound us for a long time. Old journeys are gone. Old directions are changed. We're going down a new path. We're released. And the concept of God or spirit being present is saying, in a heartbeat, life changes. We're moving in a new direction. This is clarified by the dragon fae goddess Tiamat. And she is all about letting us know that we are all stronger than we think. We don't have to be facing adversity to know how strong we can be. We are always stronger than we think. So there is nothing about this change that we can't deal with. The alignment of these clarifiers scares me sometimes. You can't make this stuff up. Again, I have a week where I need 2 extra cards talking about the lunar celestial stuff. And this is the Butterfly Nebula. It's actually a dying star, or a star that's splitting as a pair. And it's about change and being accepting and understanding that change is a constant thing. That's a very Buddhist thinking, but many cultures have that. And it is clarified by the 2 of Wands. So here's another 2. We had a 2 down here somewhere. There we are. Bringing things into balance. Temperance is about bringing things into balance. Everything that we're moving towards is bringing us into a balance with our spiritual life, which is here, our earthly walk, which is here. And you have to see things from those perspectives and not let yourself get weirded out by what is perceived as chaos. It's change and it's release from things which have bound us to being out of balance. You can flip the camera, Brian, my dear. This is a very, very beautiful reading. I was going to go back to use some Marseille decks this week, and I even challenged myself to pull out some Rider-Waite, but no, I stopped and I asked and I listened to Spirit, and I'm so glad I did. My guides were saying things, and this will make some of the old ones laugh, but eeny beeny chilly beany, the spirits are about to speak. That just cracked me up when they said that. That goes back to some cartoon in my childhood. If you remember the cartoon, let me know. I think it was Fractured Fairy Tales, but anyway. This is a beautiful, beautiful, gentle push forward in a time when the rains have come and are washing away the things that need to sprout and be seen by others, growing out of this body and this life that we have. Be good to yourselves. And I thank Sharon and Cam and all the others who have helped us out. Many of you comment when you hear that my voice, or that I look, my voice is weak sounding, or that I don't look all the best. And I'm not well right now, so it's okay. Things will be fine. Give us a thumbs up. That will help me feel better. Subscribe. Send us a coffee. Leave a comment. Brian will have all that information in the descriptions for the video. Be at peace and enjoy this blessed spring. Aho.